folks. How are we going? Thank you very much. Yes. Okay. One clap was not good enough. Let's make it two. Folks, welcome aboard. Nice to have you here on this lovely tail end of a Wednesday, the 12th of April, 2023. Today I am going to talk about group cruising. So we're going to get stuck into it because with 633 days to go to the Ducks cruise, I thought, why not? Let's just have a good old chat about group cruising. So first in the chat, with the fare style points that you would not believe, Mr. Cruise Nuts there. Ahoy there, everyone from far, far away. Welcome aboard. Nice to have you here. And V, welcome aboard, V. Nice to have you here. Good morning. On your way to work, I presume. And the Governor, welcome aboard, Gov. Nice to have you on board. Yes, well, what can I say? Time for floaty boaty for you guys. And V is saying, morning, beautiful people. And also, g'day to Rob. Well, folks, let's talk about it. Yep, driving today. It's off to work. What's that song? It's off to work we go. Yes, well, it's the only way I know that I can get onto a cruise ship is if I don't go to the office and do what is necessary. So there we go, folks. Okay, 630. Oh, well, wait a minute. Let's bring that back. How many group cruises are there that have the name Helping Hands for Cruising tied to it? Well, the first one that we've got coming up in the very near future is Ford Man Kenneth Oakes with 212 days to go. Then there is a group cruise. I do not have the correct dates and times for it, and I will need to get it. That's the one that, and we're busy discussing whether or not that one does become a Helping Hands for Cruising group cruise. But funnily enough, that particular cruise is going to be going over the inaugural time when the original Helping Hands for Cruising group cruise went on. So that will be an amazing one. That one is actually being run by Amy from Amethyst Haze, and we're actually hoping that cruise can also be a Helping Hands for Cruising group cruise. It has yet to go to the board for a discussion, and then we shall see how it goes from there. Then, of course, we've got the Ducks cruise in 633 days, and then Ocean to Ocean, which has their group cruise in 794 days. Now, that one's going out of Seattle and headed up towards Alaska. So that's going to be an amazing cruise, that one. But not nearly as good as the Ducks cruise in 633 days, which is leaving out of Sydney just after New Year's Eve and heading up to the South Pacific. So there we go, folks. So what actually brought this on, excuse me, what actually brought this on was us thinking about having just come back. It's been pretty much almost 1 week to the day that we've come back from our cruise with Mum and Dad, and some exciting stuff from that particular cruise just came to light. You know, first of all, there is no good time to go cruising for the first time. In other words, you just got to do it. For those of you that have not cruised before, you just need to jump on the cruise ship and have some fun. I was talking to a guy today who was in one of our classes, and we were talking about holidays and cruising and all that sort of stuff, and he was saying that his mum loves to cruise and he would like to cruise too. And we said, well, look, no finer way of getting a vacation in there, and I'll tell you why. What's included? Your accommodation is all included. B, your travel is all included. Your entertainment is included. Your food is included. Yes, there are some upcharge restaurants, but on the main, you can cruise for nothing at all. You know, no extra cash. And also things like well, if you're going to be drinking alcohol, okay, there's an upcharge to that. But all the basics, you know, like coffee, water, tea, all that sort of stuff, is free to get. So basically, you could travel on a cruise ship with no cost at all. And going in a group cruise, now why is a group cruise so good? Because you're going with like minded people, people who just want to, um, who have the same sort of interests as you are going on the cruise. So you guys are going to have an absolute ball and really enjoy the time together. I know that on our inaugural cruise, it was absolutely amazing because not only did we have people who were helping hands for cruising people, but we also had other friends come along with us and enjoy the time with us. And so it's exciting. So all I need to say to you folks is even if you don't want to go by yourself, go with a bunch of people, a bunch of strangers. But if you want to make it even more fun, go with people you know. And the more people you know, the more it turns into something that's exciting. So, having said that, let me lead on to something that might be of interest to you guys. This is going to be amazing. Now I've got to find out how to press the right button. There we go. Well, folks, I was hoping that that video came across and you saw how good it was. Sydney Harbour, that's where we're going to be on January the 2nd of 2025, sailing out on the Celebrity Edge. It's an amazing ship. I've been looking at pictures of it and looking at all the exciting things that are on it, studying up on the restaurants and the entertainment and all that that's there. The good news is we're going to be having a Helping Hands for Cruising recipient on board that ship. And that recipient will be coming out of Australia because it is an Aussie cruise. And yeah, we are so looking forward to getting things underway and having the right people on board Currently, we've got at least 6 cabins sold, as far as I'm aware. So the more the merrier. Just keep on coming. Keep on coming. Let's have some fun together. Now, one of the things that I find amazing about the cruise, about a group cruise, is, you've got all these different people with all these different ideas and senses of humor, and so you come in, you enjoy, you join in all the activities if you can, and if you can't join in the activities, you make yourself comfortable, and you just partake in the things you want to partake. So at this particular point, what involved in one of the cruises I've mentioned, the Kenny group crew, Amy, or even the that's going to be there, Alaska, the ocean to ocean group cruise. Just get yourself involved. G'day, Sir Paul. How are you today, my friend? Welcome aboard. Nice to have you here. Hopefully, you're driving and listening, so I hope you stay safe. And where are you driving to, Paul? Where are you going from to? And I hope it's a lot of good business that you're carrying with you. Okay, so there you go. Jump on a cruise. And now I know that a couple of you have just come back from a cruise. I know Amy's just come back from a cruise. I know that Doug and Cindy Spiker are on a cruise as we speak. We have had Dewey. Well, Dewey's never off a cruise, unless he calls me a liar and just pops in right now. And also we've had Matt and Kimbra have just come back from a cruise, and on their cruise they had James and Cindy Catanese, and also they've had Scott and Amber Hicks on board. So that was an interesting cruise, and we did get some really nice feedback from both couples. So Helping Hands for Cruising did something very, very good for those guys. So that's good. Paul is saying that he's doing a local gravel haul. Well, keep it in the truck, my friend. Keep it in the truck. You don't want to be having to stop and tidy up the road behind you. So now, for the people across the pond, because you guys have gone into daylight saving, and we've just come out of daylight saving, we are basically now 2 hours. You guys would now come on, instead of being on at 6 o'clock a.m. your time. Hang on a second, let me just clarify that. No, instead of coming on at 4 a.m. your time, we are now on at 6 a.m. your time. So yeah, a lot more of you can just fall out of bed and have a listen or join in the chat, and have a good time. Now, on this session today, we were meant to have Arthur from Arthur's Cruising, who's based in Adelaide. Arthur unfortunately or fortunately for him, unfortunately for us, but fortunately for him, he did have a work commitment, so we've postponed that to next week. So in next week's discussion, Arthur and I will have a chat about the Grand Princess cruise that we both took. Arthur took it at a different time than we did, and also they did from Adelaide to Kangaroo Ground, and then from Kangaroo Ground back to Melbourne, and then from Melbourne out to New Zealand, then back out to Melbourne, and then back home to New Zealand, back home to Adelaide again. So his cruise was a lot longer than ours. Ours was just 3 nights, 4 days. We did enjoy it nonetheless, and so did Arthur. But Arthur has some things that he wants to talk about, and so we're going to have a discussion about it next week as to his cruise. for those that were there waiting for us to do the what's going on down under with Jonesy from Tasmania yesterday, I apologise. I got caught up with work requirements, and so I couldn't continue with that, or I couldn't get there in time for that particular live stream. But we'll be doing that next week, next Tuesday. It will be Jonesy and I talking about what's going on down under. And you never know, I might find another place for you to go and research. All right, back to group cruising. So, one of the great things about group cruising is that usually, it depends on the group cruise. Now, there are a couple of people that do the non-group cruise, and that is just a bucket load of people coming on board a ship and doing whatever it is they feel like doing. So the thing about a group cruise is that the group sets up some activities which are outside of the ship activities, and you can partake in that. Now, it is your vacation, so you can either join in the activities, or you just do as you please. Now, we had some people on board the ship. There were a number of cruises that came on for helping hands. These people didn't want to be involved in helping hands, but they wanted to stay as part of the group cruise, so they did their own thing. And great, glad they could. And because they could, they enjoyed the fun that they had. So that's, what can I say? It's just a great opportunity for people to actually get together and just do whatever it is they want to do. And so there we are. That's what they did. They got on board. They just had fun. They just did their own thing. If they wanted to, they would have joined in all the helping hands for cruising activities, but they chose not to. They chose to do their own thing, so that was good. And you know, there we go. Nice to have fun. Well, let me see. Facebook user. G'day, Facebook user. I know you do that on purpose every time. You do have the opportunity to put your details in there so we know who you are, but let me guess. I would say that's Rob. So, g'day, Rob. How you going? Welcome aboard. Nice to have you here. How's the weather in Canada these days? I hope it's not too cold for you. So joining in a group cruise does have its benefits, but it also gives you the opportunity to, hey, it's your party. You can cry if you want to. In other words, do as you please. Have fun. Go and see places. Spend time in your cabin. Go and do activities that are not part of the group cruise activities. Whatever it is you choose. In our case, on our group cruise, there was a time when, so that was the October cruise. Ilana and I decided we wanted to spend some time going into onto the slides, the water slides. She saw me and said I look like a beached whale, but you know what? That's it is what it is, right? Okay, Nick. G'day, Nick. How you going, buddy? Howdy, everyone. My SUV broke down last night. Pretty sure the fuel pump went out. I'm lucky my brother, who's a mechanic, moved back to Minnesota, so he's coming to get it. Thank God for family. Hey, you are 150% correct. Thank goodness for family. So Rob says, I chose not to give access to share my name, not it, Larry. Hang on, I'm confused. Or is it? No, it's not Larry. I know it's not Larry. Only Rob would say things like this. And cast aspersions on Larry. So there you go. Now, hang on a second. Rob, how many days until you cruise? Your cruise is not that far away. It's what, 200 days or something like that? Is that right? And okay, anybody now, Nick, I hope this issue with your vehicle does not impede you on your impending trip down under, so that you can have a go on the trains of down under. Oh, yes, another thing, my friend, you will have to learn to be on the correct side of the road. Thank you. I know you did that in Ireland, but Australia is even better. All I can say. Now, the good news is you'll be on a train, so the train will do it for you. G'day, Scott. We were just talking about you. How are you? I hope you guys have recovered nicely from the group cruise you went on. We're talking about group cruises and the benefits of going on a group cruise. Those of you who have done that, give us some hints and tips. What did you like about going on a group cruise? As I said, we've got at least 1, 2, 3, 4 group cruises coming up shortly. Scott is saying, I know, Nick, you will be driving backwards. Oh, backwards. Yeah, okay, back, no. Actually, he'll be driving upside down to you guys because we're down under. So, the cruises I'm talking about coming up in the near future. Travel to a Taste does have a cruise going on in 164 days on the P&O Iona. Kenny has got a cruise going in 212 days. Christmas is in 258. I just hope you thought you'd like to know that. As well as New Year is in 263 days, but who's counting? Then the Ducks cruise is in 633 days, and Ocean to Ocean is in 794 days. Now, Kenny's, the Ducks and Ocean to Ocean currently are supported Helping Hands for Cruising group cruises. There is another cruise coming up in October of next year, which will be exactly, I think it's 2024, will be 2 years since the inaugural cruise, and that one is being held by Amy from Amethyst Haze. The board has yet to decide whether or not that particular cruise will be accepted as a Helping Hands for Cruising group cruise. All it requires is for Amy to present a video of why she wants to be a host for a Helping Hands for Cruising group cruise. And while we're at it, anybody who knows somebody that they would like to nominate for a group cruise, folks, if you wouldn't mind, put on a video and send that into the Helping Hands for Cruising board, so that we can then make a decision as to which recipients we put on which cruise. All right, Scotty is saying, let me see. G'day, Sean. We have a video for Helping Hands for Cruising, but it won't come until we finish up with our cruise videos. We wanted it to be the final video, and it will tie everything together. So, you know what, Scotty? That would be absolutely amazing when it comes through. We'll look forward to having it on board. And, you know, I'm pretty sure that it will make an impact on somebody, and that they too themselves will find it in their hearts to either become a nominee for a recipient, or become a host. And that would be absolutely amazing. Okay, so, but in the meantime, Scotty, while you're sitting at the computer, would you like to just give us a couple of hints and tips as to what you felt about the group cruise, and whether or not you enjoyed it? That would be absolutely amazing. And of course, Sir Paul is saying to Brother Scott, good morning. Well, I will say to you folks, good evening. Good evening, because it is now 2027, 8:37. So there we go. Um, now, I don't know about you folks, but we've been on one group cruise, and we're setting up our second group cruise. And I just think, when we were cruising on our own, we just thought, you know what, this is fun. It's fun to cruise, but it's even more fun when you cruise with mates. Because at the end of the day, when you're with mates, you guys are just having fun together as a team, and the coffee, tea, breakfast. I will never forget the opportunity that we had with Raphael from Visos Travel. He says to me, he says, Sean, come with me, let's have some breakfast. Went, yeah, okay. I will be at the Lido deck having breakfast in the Horizon bar. He says, no, 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 no. Come down to the restaurant with me and have some breakfast at the restaurant. Okay, so we did that. And we're sitting down in the restaurant having breakfast, and he goes, why don't we have steak and eggs? Oh, you kidding? Steak and eggs for breakfast? Yum. Oh. Well, got our steak and eggs and whatever we want. Oh, and then there was that 7-layered cake that Carnival make. 7-layered cake. I'm telling you, just from that breakfast alone, Raphael and I walked in as guests, and we left that breakfast as cargo, as freight. It was absolutely amazing, let me tell you. And the beauty of going on the ship was that, hey, you just unpack, you go and you have whatever it is. We've actually had a sign on our door for breakfast since we came home, but the bloody room service here sucks. I have to get up and make coffee for Ilana and I, or vice versa. Uh, I think we should just change our hotel. Um, yeah, okay. Um, all right, let's have a look. Scott says it was the best trip he and Amber have had or have been on. They couldn't have asked for anything better aside from what the ship had to offer. The awesome people that represented Helping Hands for Cruising were just fantastic. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate that, and I know that the people who were actually there representing the charity, those guys really appreciate the positive feedback. So I will pass that message on. Thank you for that, and hopefully, if I know that Paul's there, but hopefully Meg, if she's up and about, will have seen that comment, as well as Dewey, who was there as well, and a couple of others, Matt and Kimbra. So hopefully they will see that and they will agree, and um, we're we're really grateful for those comments, Scott. Do you think, my friend, let me ask you the question this way: do you think it changed your life much, and if so, how? Because I know that when we went on the group cruise in October, it certainly changed everybody's life that went on board. I know myself, Donovan, um, Matt and Kimbra, Dewey, the fact that we were all together as a team, as a group, we certainly, not only did Kenny's life get changed, but we changed because of Kenny's presence. So just curious, Scotty, how did the group cruise change your life? That is an awesome cup of coffee, and you know why? Because I made it. It is the best coffee I have had this evening. Um, Scotty says it broke their hearts to say goodbye to friends that became family in just a week. It has inspired us to start planning a cruise to not only take our boys on. Wow. Okay. Any ideas when? Any ideas on what ship? You know what? It is fantastic that it has inspired you, because at the end of the day, you have come on that cruise and it has made a difference to you. And for that, we are really, really grateful and appreciative, that, you know, people can, certainly learn and grow from this sort of environment. Scotty is saying, they are planning on taking their family members that have never cruised before. You know what? That is incredible. Well, that's touched my heart, my friend. It certainly has. The fact that you've included new people that we never expected, and this has been the goal, to try and get people from outside of the normal cruising community, people who know that they have needed to change and grow, and have known people that needed that change and growth. But you, on the other hand, are taking people outside of that sphere of influence, and that, my friend, certainly warms my heart, because it shows that, this is really, it's really bringing something forward here. People are growing, people are enjoying the idea, and really what we want to do is just give people the best vacation ever. Because what else can you get? You go and see a different country. How can I learn about the Caribbean if I don't go there? How can I learn about Fiji if I don't go there? How can I learn about Vanuatu and New Caledonia if I don't go there? Zealand or Australia if you don't actually go there. So the benefit of the cruise is absolutely amazing. At the same time, I mean, you're not spending money on flights because you're jumping on board the ship. The only flight is to get to the ship. Now, I know Bill from Warmstrong Adventures flew all the way out, 15 hours, all the way out from the U.S. To spend 22 days on the Carnival Luminosa, sailing from Brisbane all the way back to Seattle, and then from Seattle up to Alaska. So that's an amazing cruise. And when you get the experience of having been on a cruise ship for such a long period of time, 22 days, I mean, you get to understand what it is like. And really, on a cruise is a good time to just unwind. There is no radio there or TV. You just are using the radio or TV that is being satellite brought into the cruise, onto the ship, and you just, and if you want to, you don't need to use any electronics and all that sort of stuff, because basically what you're doing is you're just using that time to mentally grow and think and enjoy and cut off from the world. Scott is saying that this cruise and Helping Hands for Cruising has opened up a new adventure in their lives that now we want to pass on to someone else that doesn't know what they are missing. And you know what? That is the incredible bit. And I know I've done my job if somebody takes on my vision and just passes it on to somebody else. So, Scott, you made my day, my friend. Because at the end of the day, you've taken our vision of giving somebody an opportunity, and you're now going to do the same. Get somebody else to have the same opportunity to cruise, to see something different. Well, I am really touched, and I can only say that you have a heart of gold, my friend, and that has borne out in many ways. You certainly did deserve that cruise when we got you onto it. Who knows? Hopefully one day we can host a Helping Hands for Cruising group cruise to show someone the same experience we received. Well, you never know, my friend. Time will tell. Hey, Kenny's doing it. Kenny was a recipient. Now he's going to be hosting a recipient himself. We've come full circle. And that is awesome. That is amazing. It only takes one. It just takes one. Anyway, all good stuff there, my friends. All good stuff. So, anybody else left in the chat? When is your next cruise? Give us a heads up. And if you do have a cruise, is it a group cruise? I know that the governor's going to be cruising on Floaty Boaty. And I know that he loves going on Floaty Boaty. It is an awesome cruise ship. It's his bathtub. Yep, it's his bathtub, so there you go. Okay, let's have a look. A couple of people saying good day to each other. That's awesome. So, just a heads up for those of you across the pond. Because of daylight saving, 8 p.m. now works out to 6 a.m. So if you were just waking up, listen to my dulcet tones of good morning, and you never know, folks. You might enjoy the dulcet tones of the ducks waking you up as we're preparing to actually hit the hay. Okay, so now I don't know which cruise ship Kenny's going on, but I got a feeling it's going out of Charleston, North Carolina, I believe, and I believe that it is going along. Correct me if I'm wrong, Kenny, but I believe it is going. I believe that it is going to the West Caribbean. I could be wrong. No. It's going to Bahamas, I believe. Anyway, we'll see. Okay. Rob is saying. Scott is agreeing. It is Charleston, South Carolina. I beg your pardon, Scotty. How could I get that so wrong? Okay. Rob is saying you are stocking this Rob guy when he's going on to his next cruise, or are you going to surprise him that you are going to be there since he couldn't make the one that you were on in the U.S.? It's 200. He's on 200 day till cruise day, and 198 till you fly out. So is that the booze cruise that you're going on? If it is the booze cruise, that would be an awesome cruise, because I know that those guys. That's the Halloween one, isn't it? Am I right or am I wrong? Rob, let me know. You're going to be in very good company on that cruise. That's an awesome cruise. The booze cruise. Booze as in BOOS, not BOOZE. Not alcohol cruise. Although I know some of the people on board there will be drinking a bucket load of alcohol. By the name of Rob. I mean, not Rob. Josh Moon from Moonlight Adventures. SCT, that would be Greg from SCT. I know he's an alcoholic from way back when. I'm just kidding. But I know that that's going to be an awesome cruise too, because there's 4 or 5 channels that are involved. SCT Adventures, CME Travel, Moonlight Adventures. Who am I missing? How We Travel. That's Brian and I believe Embarkation Nation as well are on that one as well. So there's a few people that are booked on there, and it's going to be an awesome cruise. Not quite the vloggers cruise, but you know what? They're going to enjoy it just as much. So Charleston, South Carolina. It, how many cruise ships go out of Charleston? Do you know, Scotty? Um, I don't know if there's quite a few, but hey, it would be nice if we saw a bucket load of cruise ships go out of there. Anyway, so I'm thinking that, and one of the things that Helping Hands for Cruising does do is we do include our recipients on a group cruise. And the reason for that is if I was to take a recipient who'd never been on a cruise ship before and just dump them on a cruise where there wasn't a group going, they would be at such a loss, they would not know what to do, and that it would not be pleasurable for them. Whereas if I put them on a group cruise, the group are acting as helpers and guiders and giving them an experience, as well as the ship giving an experience. Because not only is the ship a destination, but when you've got a group of people on board that destination doing the same thing with you, it just makes it that much easier. Okay, Scotty's answered the question for me. He said he doesn't know how many ships, but he does know that the next year will be Carnival's last year of going out of Charleston. Okay, that's a shame for the people of Charleston, because they will lose a fair bit of money unless somebody else goes in and does it in their place. Because whilst the ship may have 3,000 people on board, those 3,000 people need to go and have a dinner somewhere, have breakfast somewhere, sleep somewhere, buy a couple of souvenirs somewhere, fly in and fly out of the place. The cab industry has got to carry them from hotel. The bus industry has got to move them around. And if the ship is doing excursions, they're booked on those as well. Limousines, Ubers, the whole host, the whole kit and caboodle have to all play their part. So as a result, it's not a good thing for a cruise line to pull out of a place. So there must be something quite substantial that's stopping them from using Charleston as a home port. I know that in 2024, next year, we will be getting the Virgin Resilient Lady come in and home port out of Melbourne. We've been looking at that cruise line for our own Freeliner and I to experience. So that will be awesome. Excuse me. We're also looking at a couple of other local cruises that are coming on board. Some from P&O Australia. We want to give those a try, especially the one ship that they have just recently got. The one ship that they recently got used to be in the Princess line, and because it was in the Princess line, they have renamed it, and I think they've renamed it as the Pacific Adventurer, which we know as the old Golden Princess. So that was so we want to see how it has changed and why is it so significant in our lives. It was our first cruise ship that we went on. Nick is saying that Carnival, American and Silversea are the three main cruise lines that port out of Charleston. So American Cruise Lines does tripping up and down the Mississippi and all the rivers internally. I don't believe that they do any external. By that I mean sailing out of U.S. waters. I don't believe they do any of those. I believe American does all internal cruising, which in itself is amazing. I know Dewey's gone on one of their ships, I believe, and done the Mississippi. Then Silver Seas is a premium or luxury style cruise line, and they have a big name for themselves. And their ships, they're smaller ships, but they get into places that the bigger ships can't. So that's amazing. Carnival and Charleston had a 14-year run. He heard that Charleston wouldn't renew the contract, so he's getting his information from Blaine, so don't hold me to it. Well, if Blaine's giving you the information, Blaine should actually come into the chat and give the information himself, the slack mongrel. But what can I say? It's Blaine. It's Blaine. The chicken who would not wear his whatever thing it was on the cruisathon, but that's okay. It's okay. It's Blaine. I've forgiven him. I've forgiven him. It's Mallory I feel sorry for. Mallory has to put up with Blaine. I'm kidding. I love those guys to bits. They are fun. So awesome. So folks, group cruising, it's fun, especially with a recipient who would not have a clue. Blaine hasn't rolled over yet, and he's probably in his thong. That's what we wanted. That was it. It was his thong he was threatening to get into, and he still hasn't rolled over. Yeah, you're right. But that's okay. We'll get him next time. We will get him next time. Now, hang on. Is it his thong or is it Mallory's? If it's Mallory's, I'm worried. Because then it's been stretched. I'm joking. Sorry. Let me put that in better words. Sorry, that was meant to be an insane laugh. It didn't turn out to be one. It turned out to be a crazy thing. Scott is saying, now you're asking questions that I don't have an answer for. You're right, mate. You're very right. And I don't want to embarrass you. See, there you go. Ooh, I don't want to embarrass you. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. We've had fun in the sun, and Blaine will do his utmost to stop beeping me. I'm just trying to be clean here. And all right, okay, you win. Ah, boy, what can I say? Really? Okay, all right, okay. I know that it was humorous, and I apologise. It wasn't that humorous for you. But at the end of the day, we will have some fun, and I can tell you now, group cruising is a fantastic way, especially if you're a new cruiser. Going with a bunch of people makes that experience that much better. It is just that much easier and better to get involved and enjoy and have fun. So with that in mind, folks, I'm going to say to you, get on a group cruise if you can. It's just awesome. Wait a minute, who's got crickets in the background there? I didn't start this. All I wanted to know was, if you've got friends out there who have never cruised before, bring them in with a mate, and then you'll have fun, and it should be awesome. So just like Scott is bringing family in, that'll be really nice, really good for them. Scott says they were having a blast from the games to the dinners. It was all amazing. Yep, yep, and it depends on who you're having a blast with. So Robbie's saying that it is the booze cruise, which is awesome, and first time sailing CCL, first time on Carnival. I think you're going to enjoy it. It is the fun cruise, the fun ship. They're out to give you fun, make fun, do things, make you do things. It is awesome, and you just keep it up. Just enjoy it. It's going to be fun. Um, lots of interesting thing when you're with good people, and that's what makes it. Anyway, folks, I'm going to bid you all a good night. It's been a blast. Just to give you a heads up on what's happening this week. So on Friday night, for those of you across the pond, for those of you on our side of the pond, it'll be Saturday at lunchtime. We will have at 10 p.m. on the other side of the pond, Friday night, we will have our live stream. Ilana will come in there with me, and we will have a good chat and talk about what's going on. We'll also unpack our cruise a bit. And also next week, Tuesday, it'll be Jonesy and I again with what's going on down under. So that'll be an interesting discussion. You never know what we'll talk about. We may talk about all sorts of things. We might talk about. No, okay, not ducks. We may, and then next week Wednesday we'll have our hump day again, which is as usual. And what? Who's there? Okay, all right. I'll finish it off. At any rate, folks, we wish you all a pleasant, safe day. I can tell you it was a good day here, except for a bit of rain, and we're currently cooling down a bit. But at the end of the day, thank you, Scotty. We will have a good one for the rest of you folks. Have an awesome day, and we wish you only good things. So take it easy and have a ball.